What do you hear? What do you say?
Oh, what's going on, guys? The boss is back. I'm here to talk some boxing. Prediction time: Shakur Stevenson versus Robson Conceicao this Friday night, not Saturday. Remember that, Friday night. I love Friday night fights. Hey, you know what that means? We're one more day closer. We don't have to wait till Saturday. But there is fights on Saturday, and there will be a prediction for that fight as well. But not till we get to this one. Iceman is here. What's going on, man? Appreciate you being here. Don't forget to hit the like button, guys. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. All that good stuff. Guys, I think this is a fantastic matchup. I really do. I'm already hearing people complaining, saying that it's going to be a boring fight, a stink fest, or whatever, whatever terms that people like to use for fights that they think are going to be boring. I don't think this fight's going to be boring, man. I really don't. But we're going to get into that right now. I want to say something real quickly, though, before I get into my breakdown, and then we will be taking phone calls if anybody wants to call in, give their prediction, or, comment on whatever it is that I say here in my prediction. You're more than welcome to do that as well. But I just want to say this. Look, there's been people going absolutely nuts over pay-per-view numbers, okay? Now, look, on this channel, we don't talk about that shit, okay? We just don't. I don't care, okay? But I'm just going to say this real quickly. I just want to make one comment on the whole thing. Boxing, you got to stop making so many damn pay-per-views. And you got to, if you're going to do pay-per-views, then damn it, give us the fights we want. They got to be entertaining fights. They got to be good matchups. You know what I'm talking about, all right? That's all I'm going to say about that, okay? But over here, I mean, I don't stress over shit like that because I just talk boxing, break down fights, talk about maybe past fights, fantasy matchups, stuff like that. That's all we do here, man. That's it. So it's easy when you just do that. You don't have to worry about all this nonsense, okay? You don't have to go through all this other shit just to make yourself look good or your fighter look good. Anyway, let's get into this thing, guys. All right, because like I said, I think this is a good matchup. I do. But let's get into the tail of the tape first. We're going to start off with Shakur Stevenson. He is the WBO, WBC, and Ring Magazine lineal champion at 130 pounds. That is super featherweight. All right. He is 18-0 with zero losses, obviously 18-0, 9 KOs, 5'7", 68-inch reach. and he is a southpaw. All right, got to keep that in mind. Okay, now let's go to the challenger for this bout. And for some reason, BoxRec has kicked me out. Thank you, BoxRec. That's what happens when you're live. Shit happens, okay? Give me 1 second, guys. I'm just trying to get back to Conceicao's BoxRec so I can get all of the details down for him. All right. Here we go. All right. Robson Conceicao out of Brazil. Okay. 17-1 with 8 KOs. No draws. 33 years of age. 5'10". He's pretty damn tall to be 130 pounds. I'll tell you that. He did look a lot taller than Shakur, which is crazy because think about it like this. Shakur is fighting Conceicao. Conceicao is much taller than him. Stevenson just fought Valdez. He was much taller than him. So when Conceicao and Valdez, you get what I'm saying, right? Anyways, 5'10", 70-inch reach, and he is an orthodox fighter. And like I said, out of Brazil. I believe he is a gold medalist out of Brazil. So very good, very, very good fighter. Bruce Gass is here. How you doing, Bruce? Glad that you're here. And my man, the GOAT. Hey, the GOAT, if you're up for it, man, call in again when I open up the phone lines. There's some people saying that I censored you last time I was live, but it was just a malfunction with my equipment. But I got it all figured out, and we're good to go. All right. I know my Wi-Fi is messing up right now, my internet connection, but we're going to get through this thing. Okay, guys? Anyway, here we go. What I see in this fight is this. Like I said, I think it's a good matchup. I think it's a fantastic matchup. We got two guys who are, very skilled boxers, but they do fight totally different styles. And I'm going to get into that in a minute. Fotex, hey, man, I haven't seen you here in a while, but I'm glad that you're back. Appreciate you being here. So, look, the challenger, Conceicao, he's got more of a classic style of boxing, right? He likes to fight either at long range outside or medium range, right? He likes to have extension on his shots. Not very good on the inside. We saw that in his fight with Valdez, and we also seen that in his last fight with my hometown guy, Xavier Martinez. So yeah, like I said, he likes to, he can use his legs, he can move around the ring a little bit, and like I say, he likes to have distance on his shots. He's got a really good jab. Got a really, really good jab. I shouldn't say, you know what? I'm just gonna say this. He's got a good left hand, I'll say. Okay. Obviously, the jab goes with that because he's an orthodox fighter, but he does have a really good left hook as well. The right hand to me is not so good. Now, I don't know this for sure, but to me, he looks like one of those guys that is probably naturally a lefty and fights with his left hand in the front, which is, it's not that odd to do that. We've seen quite a few fighters do that in the past. Miguel Cotto, Oscar De La Hoya, guys like that, and they had terrific left hands, much like Conceicao. That's just me speculating. I don't know if that's the real thing or not, but that's what it looks like to me because sometimes his right hand is and we're gonna get into that in a minute, okay? Because I got some video here I'm gonna show you guys when I make my pick. For me, look, he still fights very amateurish, Conceicao. You know, he still likes to. He does this thing, or if you notice, if you watch amateur fights, especially in the Olympics, where the guys are boxing, they're right in each other's face, and then they throw a right hand and they land it, and then they go like this. He's basically trying to tell the judges, "Hey, look, I landed that right hand. Count that right hand." And that's how they score amateur fights. He does that, then he'll move around the ring, and waste time. That's what I call it. He was wasting a lot of time against Valdez, and he was also doing that a lot towards the end of the Martinez fight. But I'll say this. Early in those two fights, Valdez and Martinez, he fought more on the front foot, sat down on his shots a little bit more. But then as the fight went on, That's when he started to go back to, like I said, wasting time in rounds, moving around, and doing the amateur type stuff. The goat here says Robson will not come forward, in my opinion. Shakur will have to come forward. I think that's a good thing you brought that up. And that's what makes this fight interesting to me, is that if Robson Conceicao decides to use some lateral movement and fight at long range distance, we're gonna have to see Shakur cut the ring off and try to break him down. But I don't. The reason why I don't think he's gonna do that, the goat, is because he's fighting in Shakur's hometown. Now he's already fought in Valdez's hometown, and he felt like he got robbed. There's a small majority of fans out there that agree with him. I don't think he won that fight though. I thought it was a close fight, but I don't think he won. But yeah, I don't think he's gonna do that. I don't think that would benefit him. Um, if he wants to try to bank rounds on the scorecards, I don't think he's gonna want to do that. He's gonna have to make a statement, I think. Now, he sort of did that in his last fight with Martinez, or at least the commentators were giving him credit for that. And I'll just say like this: when I went back and looked at the CompuBox numbers for that fight, he only outlanded Martinez by 18 punches, and Martinez threw more punches than him. But if you listen to the ESPN commentary, they were saying how Martinez did nothing. He was with his hands in his pocket all night. Conceicao just outlanded him by so much. Like, that was not the case. It just wasn't, guys. But he did get the win. Okay, got the win. And those are some of the things that I like and don't like with Conceicao. Now, let's get on to the champion here, Shakur Stevenson. He is a southpaw. And again, this is an open stance fight, guys. So we got the southpaw versus orthodox. Lead feet will be touching lead hands. Could be guys stepping on each other's feet, headbutts. Let's hope none of that happens here. Let's hope we get a nice, clean fight and a good, clean finish. Let's see here. My day one says Conceicao is a pro jobber. Wow, that's a good term right there. That's a good one. I might have to steal that from you. All right. But do I think he's a pro jobber? I don't think so. No, I think he's better than a jobber. But anyways, Shakur, again, southpaw, fights in the Philly shell, shoulder roll defense. When he stands, with his opponents, he's very bladed. And what I mean by that is look how I'm standing, guys. He's like this, He's got the hand back here, and he's got this other hand here going across to protect his body. And he's very, very bladed. What I mean is like a picture of blade, how thin a blade is, right? That's how his body is when he's fighting guys. He makes himself a very small target, almost like a fencer in a way. Andres, what's up, man? Thanks for being here. So again, makes himself a very small target by standing in a bladed stance like that, right? He's got a really good jab. He uses it not just to land, but to probe, keep guys' guards very busy. And of course, he's got a really good left hand to back it up. Defense is on point. He's got good, fast feet as well. I think both guys have really, really good feet. But I would give the edge in hand and foot speed to Shakur. And look, the one thing about Shakur that I find is, I wouldn't say much of a weakness, but he did this against Herring, where he upped the volume and pushed for a stoppage, in that fight. Made a statement, in my opinion. Not so much in the Valdez fight. I felt like that fight was very good, and there were some good rounds, good competitive rounds. But I don't think that, I'll say this: Valdez had the most success against Shakur as far as like punches landed. I believe he landed more punches on Shakur than anybody at that point in Shakur's career. Still came up short. But when you go back and watch that fight, he literally stood right there in front of Shakur and knew he was going to get hit. He knew that he was out with the hand speed. He had a disadvantage. He was at a disadvantage with the foot speed. But he said to himself, in order for me to try to land something on this guy to hurt him, I gotta stand there and take some shots. I gotta stand in the line of fire in order to get my shots off. And he did that. He took a lot of shots, but look, he was able to land a lot of good crisp right hands on Shakur, lead right hands, which is a good punch you want to throw against a southpaw. Also, a lot of good left hooks he landed to the body, which is one part of the shell defense that I think is a place where a lot of people can exploit. And again, depending on the fighter, if he's left or right, wherever that arm is that's protecting here, you could get him up and around this area. You can land hooks there to the body, um, especially in a orthodox versus southpaw matchup. So again, punches, more volume by Shakur, and again, body shots he's vulnerable to. And let's see here. Conceicao fought a drugged up Valdez. Oh, come on. You don't believe that, do you? But anyway, here's the one big thing that I see in this fight that's a major something that stood out to me when I looked at both guys' styles and the way that they fight in their last couple of fights. Now, to my understanding, Conceicao has not been in with the southpaw in his professional career, at least from what I've looked at. And that's big, right? We seen that with Andy Ruiz a couple weeks ago. Um, so there's no way for me to go back and say, look, this is how he fights against the southpaw. I have not seen that. He's probably seen a southpaw or two in the amateurs. I'm almost positive of that. Um, but as far as professionals go, have not seen that. So that's going to be a major advantage for Shakur Stevenson right there. The southpaw already has the advantage because um, they see orthodox fighters all the time, as orthodox fighters don't see southpaws all the time. Yeah, I'm sure he has. I'm sure he has. But I'm saying it's professional, 12-round fight, 10-round fight, 8-round fight. I don't think he's seen a southpaw yet. But the one thing that I noticed with Conceicao, yes, it does, Andres. um, his defense to me is a little shaky, and to me he's chinny. Okay, he got hurt at least 2-3 times against Valdez, and he was wobbled badly against Xavier Martinez in the third round of their fight. And his defense is just not the best. Sometimes he got a little aggressive against Martinez, started to let the hands go, and that's when he got clipped with something big and got hurt. And I'm getting ready to show some clips here in a minute, and then you'll hear my prediction. But with Conceicao, his defense is either move away, stay on the outside, stay away, back up, or straight up inactive high guard, right? And you guys hear me talk about certain guys' guards when they go to the high guard or the peekaboo, whatever you want to call it, right? Guys like Canelo, Chocolatito, their guards are very active. And what I mean by that is that they move their head, they open up the hands to catch shots, they move their hands back this way to catch them, maybe down here to catch some uppercuts, Conceicao doesn't do that. He doesn't do that. He's just here, right? And you guys have heard me say this a lot as well. And you hear guys like Timothy Bradley say it live on the air. When guys are just strictly high guard like that, there's a lot of holes in those guards, okay? And fighters take advantage of that. And when you're dealing with somebody that is a sharpshooter, the way that Shakur Stevenson is, and when I look at his history against guys that fight behind that inactive high guard, like Oscar Valdez did, you're going to see what I'm talking about here. So, guys, I'm going to play a quick video here, and my prediction will be at the end of this video. But this is the reason why I'm picking who I'm picking and the way that they're gonna win, you're gonna see right here in this video, guys. Okay. Here we're gonna see Martinez just touch away at that inactive high guard of Conceicao, and he's able to go around with the right hook. Once again, just tapping away, keeping that guard busy. And this time, instead of going to the head, he shoots straight to the body with the right hand. Here, Conceicao against the ropes. Once again, off the jab. We see the right hook. Left hook to the body. Back to the center of the ring. Martinez again, this time powers through with the power jab. Shoots a big right hook that lands clean around the guard of Conceicao. Here we're going to see him get some body work done. Right uppercut gets right through. You see him loading up on these shots, getting good leverage behind them too. Left hook to the body. Right hook around the guard again. Here is where Conceicao gets hurt with a left hook. Again, Xavier starting with the jab. But if you notice here, Conceicao is really just slapping away in this exchange. And Xavier feels no danger from these punches from Conceicao. So he just loads up with a big left hook and smashes him. And has him dancing here at the end of round 3. Very fortunate this didn't happen earlier in the round, as we're going to see another angle here. What I'm talking about with these punches. Look at how he's not even turning these shots over. Look at that straight left arm. Almost like a clubbing shot to his back. Right hand doesn't turn it over. And Xavier just loads up. Now we're going to go over to see how Shakur Stevenson does against Oscar Valdez's high guard. Here again, right jab, another right jab, straight left hand, right to the body of Valdez. Beautiful shot from Shakur. Once again, working off the right jab. Left hand through the guard. Now here comes the right hook. And follows up with a straight left hand at the end of the combination. Again, we see Valdez high guard. Right jab from Shakur Stevenson. This time goes around with a little right hook. Straight left hand to the body. Follows up with a left uppercut. Again, he's finding every hole in Valdez's high guard. Now Valdez closes the gap without throwing a punch. Pays for it. Eats a big left uppercut. Again, Shakur touching the guard with the jab. Comes around with the left. So I'm picking Shakur Stevenson here by TKO. I think he's going to be able to find every hole in Conceicao's inactive guard. Plus, Conceicao doesn't really move his head. His only defense is to move his feet. And I think that he's going to land every punch in the book, and he's going to end up stopping Conceicao. All right, guys. So that's my pick. Yes, I am picking Stevenson by technical knockout. I think it's going to be, I want to say, at least 10 rounds. He's going to get the stoppage. Either the referee's going to step in or the corner is going to stop the fight because it's going to be getting hit too much. And like I said, I don't really trust his chin, you know. And there was a lot of people that doubted Valdez. They thought he was going to quit and stuff like that. Like, I mean, the guy fought with a broken jaw before, you know. You know, like why would you think he would quit in a fight? Just beyond me. But yeah, I just don't think that he doesn't move his head enough. He doesn't catch shots enough. He just, like I said, he's just there with the hands like this. You know, like Shakur rips that kind of defense to shreds, as I showed you with Valdez. And look, I see what you're saying there, Andre. It's Conceicao. Is that how it is? Hey man, I don't speak Portuguese, man. I'm sorry. It looks like cow, like coffee, the way that East Coast people say it. Oh man. Hey, what's going on, man? He says, G fucking the dog, nice shirt after picking Valdez to beat Shakur. I'm not picking against Shakur. He's the real deal. Holyfield. I agree, he is. Los Tres Chingones are here. Shakur Stevenson will definitely take the win. However, I like this fight for Stevenson. Yes, I do. I like it as well. Aaron Calderon says maybe 3 to 4 rounds. Conceicao. I like it. I like it. Yeah, I don't think it goes a distance though. I don't think it goes a distance. And like I said, I'm picking Shakur to win by a technical knockout. I don't think he's going to hit him and then he's going to go down and not make the count. I think it's going to be one of those fights where they're just going to have to stop it. You know, I feel like he's going to put on a show in front of his hometown and get the win. And look, there's great odds for Stevenson here. I seen on some websites he's minus 175 to win by decision. That's almost even money, guys. That's almost even money to lay down if you want to pick Stevenson by decision. I seen TKO or knockout plus 140, I believe. Shakur, you know I'm jumping on that. You know that I'm jumping on that. play 1, 2, 3 flazools on that one. All right. So that's what I see, guys. That's what I see in this fight. I know it's late, but I appreciate all you guys for being here. But if anybody wants to call, numbers on the screen right there, 916-572-1020. Call in, give me your pick. Whether you agree with me, disagree with me, let me know. But I think Shakur is going to get the TKO here against Conceicao. That's what I think. I really do think that. I don't know if people are like, but he ain't got that kind of power. But like I said, if guys like I don't even say Valdez because I think Valdez is if Shakur's not in this division, he beats everybody. I think. I'm pretty confident in that. But unfortunately for him, Shakur is in this division and he did beat him. But Martinez, like I said, he had a lot of success against the high guard defense of Conceicao. So imagine what I could just imagine with Shakur. And again, you seen Martinez coming in again, just touching his guard just to keep him here, you know? And then once he's got him here, boom, boom, he was going to the body. He was going around with hooks. He was uppercuts through the guard. And then you seen what he was doing to Oscar Valdez, who I think is a better fighter. You know, he found every single hole in that defense of Conceicao. Every single hole. Oh, I'm sorry, of Valdez. So, yeah, man, I'm jumping on that. I'm taking Shakur by KO, man. TKO. I think it's gonna be a stoppage. I really do. I really, really do. Wouldn't surprise if he went down too, because like I said, I think Conceicao is chinny. I really do. Every fight I've seen him in, he's been hurt. Every fight. And look, he got hurt badly against Martinez with a left hook, and there was less than 10 seconds to go in that round. Too bad it didn't happen earlier for Martinez. Who knows what would have happened? But it is what it is. Yeah, like I said, Shakur is just too fast, and he's gonna find every little crease, every little crevice in that guard, and he's gonna exploit it. I think. That's what I think. All right. Again, guys, numbers on the screen. 572-1020. HLD here says Loma was hurting him in the Olympics. Okay, so look, I said this earlier, HLD. I know you just popped in. I said that Conceicao hasn't fought a southpaw since he's been professional, but I just assume that he did. Obviously, in the amateurs, he has such a long amateur career. You know, he's been in the Olympics. I think he's a gold medalist as well. So he did fight. Yeah, wow. Loma was hurting him, huh? Well, I mean, I don't know how long ago that fight was, but you know, southpaws, man, they're not easy to fight. They're just not. You know, anyone that's been in a ring with one could tell you that. You know, let's see. I know that they're talking about languages here, and look, I'm not gonna pretend to know like I speak all these different languages. I don't. You know, I speak English. That's what I do. But let's see here. Los Reshingon, it says it's going to take a very special fighter to beat Shakur unless he's really having an off day. Well, I believe that. I believe that too, man. He's going to be a tough guy to beat. And look, he's very, very young. How old is Shakur? Let me go check. Let me go check the box rec again. He can't be no older than 25, I don't think. Let's see. He is 25. He's 25. So, yeah, he's only going to get better, man. He's only going to get better. And, the future is very bright for Shakur Stevenson. HLD says, still think he's going to be Shakur's toughest test to date. I don't think he is, man. I think that Valdez, at least currently, like I just, I don't want to make it sound like I don't like the guy. I think he's very good. I think he's a very good boxer, and like I said, he's got a really good left hand. Not only the jab, but the left hook is very good. He's got good feet. He's got good ring IQ as well. I just think that he just leaves a lot of stuff to be desired when he fights. He likes to move around the ring too much sometimes. Put his hands in the air, like I said. He'll does that amateur thing where he'll throw a right hand landing and put his hand in the air to try to tell the judges that he landed a punch. Like, he gets hit with shots and he'll shake his head and then move around the ring and then not do nothing about it. Like, that's just I don't I don't like that. I'll just say that. I don't like that type of stuff. Let's see. The GOAT here says Shakur wipes out 130 through 140. If, of course, all the fights. Oh, yeah. We always got to keep that in mind. He's got a good chance against anybody, for sure. I don't want to say he beats them all, but he's got a good chance to beat all of them. That's for sure. Shakur will have a great future, no doubts. Let's see here. H and A says Teddy losing his marbles. Who, Teddy Atlas? Wait a minute, what I missed something here? Little Penny says Teddy Atlas also thinks Pacquiao was overrated. Well, what was he rating him against? Because that matters, like I'll say this. I thought for years, and I still think this, that Kobe Bryant's overrated in the NBA. And the reason why I say that is because this kid, when he was in his early 20s, they were saying he was going to be better than Jordan or already as good. That's overrating him when you compare him to somebody like that. So what was the comparison to? Is would be the question. Little Penny again says, Paulie Malignaggi also thinks Canelo and Pac are overrated. Paulie's certainly got his opinions, that's for sure, man. What's up with Cepeda fighting Jojo Diaz? That's in November. That's coming up. I believe that's set. If you go check out this channel right here, give me a second. Let me go back up. If you check out this channel right here, Los Tres Chingones Boxing, they did an interview with Robert Diaz, who's the matchmaker for Golden Boy. And, they asked him about that fight. That fight's going to happen. That fight's going to happen in November. And it's a good fight. Really, really good fight. Little Penny says, I agree that Kobe was overrated, especially after his death. His GOAT status went through the roof after his track. Yeah, that's kind of a natural thing. Let's see. Teddy Atlas has that beef with Roach. Thus, he says the craziest things about Pacquiao. Look, I'd say this. Pacquiao, I think, is a great fighter. No doubt about it. In some senses, I've heard some people rate him, and I would agree that he's overrated in some comparisons. Like I remember guys on ESPN when Pacquiao was hired saying, "Oh, he's better than Duran. He beats Duran, knocks him out." I'm like, come on. Come on. All right. Look, he had a hard time with Morales, right? And this is no knock against Morales, okay? But Morales beat him. Morales was kicking his ass in the second fight until he ran out of gas. In the third fight, he was pretty much shot. Marquez gave him a tough fight four times and knocked him out in the fourth fight. And these guys, I'll just flat out say it, they're not as good as Duran. They're not. They're just not. Let's see here. G Funky, what's the name of that channel that shows those live fights? I went there once and loved it, but oh, you mean Thompson? They're gonna be live this Friday as well. So after the ESPN card, I'll be here. I'll be live. So guys, come back so we can talk about the fights that happened. Um, but I believe that they'll be live Friday night as well from Ontario, California. Yeah, that's called Thompson Boxing here on YouTube. Yeah, they're good, man. I like the local cards. Sometimes you see some really good fights. I went to a couple other shows here in Sacramento. I plan on going back when they come back here later this year. Do you think Shakur Stevenson beats Robson even more convincingly? Yeah, I think he's gonna win by TKO. HLD. I'm picking Shakur by TKO, and I'm gonna drop a couple flazools on that. All right. 1, 2, 3 flazools on that. All right, because there's some good odds out there. Plus 140. Los Tres Chingones says, how about not rating a fighter and rating his fights? Pacquiao had some great entertaining fight. Yeah, he did, of course. Yeah, he's a great fighter, no doubt, man. No doubt about it. I just think that when they start to compare him to guys like that, that's when I'm like, okay, you got to pump the brakes. Okay, let's pump the brakes. Like remember when Canelo beat Kovalev and they're saying, this guy is Henry Armstrong. I'm like, Henry Armstrong, no, like that's what we're gonna do here. No, little Penny, like I don't mind giving you a link. I've given you a link before, but I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about pay-per-view numbers on my channel. I don't want to talk about who's the A side. I don't want to talk about who's ducking who. I don't want to talk about which promoter is better than the other. I don't give a shit about that. No disrespect to you. If that stuff interests you, there's a lot of channels you can go to talk about that. But here, I don't want to talk about that, man. Here, what I want to talk about is the fights that are happening and that are gonna happen, possibly, right? And I include again politics because we have to include politics when it comes to matchmaking fights. So if one guy's on one side of the street, one guy's on the other side of the street, I'm not gonna talk this shit about, oh, he's ducking this guy. I'm not gonna do that. No. Let's talk about fights that are signed and official or fights that we know could possibly happen. Like fighters that are in-house, right? We know that those fights have a good opportunity of being made, Unless, of course, you're fighting under PBC and you're at 168 pounds or 160. For some reason, those fights don't happen. They just don't. Okay. Let's see here. When is Wilder fighting his sparring? That's October 15th, I believe. And that same night, Haney is fighting Kambosos down in Australia, defending his undisputed crown at 135 pounds. And the women's card was pushed back to that date as well because England had to mourn the Queen. They were in mourning for the Queen, okay? So they canceled everything. And look, I'm not going to lie, man. I was upset when they canceled because I was really looking forward to those fights. I got caught up in all the drama with Mayer and Bumgarner and Shields and Marshall. They have a history, So I was pumped. I was pumped up for that fight. And they canceled it, man. I'm not gonna lie, I was disappointed. Okay. They were sad for the Queen, but it's cool. Look, that's their, that's their country. Like here in America, like we don't do stuff like that. That's why it's difficult for us to understand. Here in America, the show goes on, They don't like to lose money here in America. You know what I'm saying? He says Wilder cried when the Queen died. Did he? I don't know. I don't know if he did or not. Like I said, I don't really pay attention to a lot of stuff anymore like I used to. Um, like I said, I don't report news here anymore or anything like that. What fighters say, what they don't say. I remember listening to some shows here on YouTube when I'm just bored and like these guys are arguing back and forth about what fighters say. And I'm like, really? Like we're gonna argue for hours and hours about what a fighter said and break it down like, well, he said this, and because he said this, then this won't happen, and that won't happen, and this, and that. I'm like, Jesus, come on, guys. Can we talk about some fights? Fights that are made. And look, we've had fights every weekend since what, April? That was 5 months ago. We've had 5 months of nonstop fights every single weekend. Sometimes on Thursdays, some nights Fridays and Saturdays of that week. Multiple cards on the same day, like, and this is what you guys want to talk about? Like, I mean, I get why they want to do it, but I just don't want to be a part of it, man. I don't want to be a part of it no more. Let's see. HLD, will Tank Davis be fighting in general population? This again, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know anything about that, and I don't want to know anything about that. Let's see. H&A, good. Yes, man. This has been a fantastic year. Let's give it up for boxing, man. When they get shit right, you got to give them credit, man. We got another good matchup, and again, Friday night, Saturday morning, heavyweight fights. Guys, I will be live tomorrow to talk about Joyce versus Parker. I think that's a fantastic matchup as well. Let's see, they argue like little kids on a playground. My dad beats up your dad. Oh, yeah. Terrible. Look, I'm gonna make a prediction video and break it down like I did today for this fight, but I've already made it pretty clear, man. Bivol gonna beat that ass. I'm sorry, man, but I have to say this. There's a lot of guys that just want revenge because Bivol beat Canelo so easy. So now it's like, yeah, Zerto, man. Zerto's gonna get it done, man. He's tough. Like, look, yes, he's big. Yes, he's tough, I guess. But what else? He's very slow of the hands and the feet. Defense is horrible. I mean, the guy gets hit at will. And look, a guy who's got pretty good defense in Canelo couldn't get out of the way of Bivol's punches. So I mean, what are you guys banking on? That Bivol punches himself out? I mean, look, if that's what you're banking on, then I mean, it's a long shot. Okay, that's what I'm going to say. Anything could happen, but it's a long shot. Okay. Yes, he boxes his head off. Bivol by UD. Let's see. Zerto doesn't have enough power to worry Bivol. I don't think he has the kind of power that people think is. I think he's more of an accumulation, Although, again, he has size, but look, he was fucking huge in his last fight in the ring. That tells you how much weight he has to lose to make 175. That can hurt you or it can work against you, depending on how you cut the weight, We'll find out. But I think Bivol makes it look easy, in my opinion. I think he makes it look easy. Let's see. Zerto is screwed, and he doesn't even know it. And the corner will throw in the towel. That's what I think is going to happen in this fight here. That the corner might throw in the towel, or the referee might stop it. More importantly, Bivol is an expert at just winning rounds. Not the most exciting, but he wins. I agree. And he's got a great jab, one of the best jabs in boxing, even by the numbers. He uses it to probe, uses it to keep guys busy with their guard, like Canelo. He's got great timing with it. And his defense is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Los Veshingones says Zerto has close to 50 fights in his career, is barely going. Exactly. Like, I mean, Munguia gonna do the same thing, right? They're gonna get these guys to 50-0 so they can say they have a better record than Mayweather or what? Like, hey, TBE, TBE, guys. All right. Yes. How do you think Benavidez does at 175? I think he does great there if he ever decides to move up. I do. He's a big guy. He's a big kid, Bivol doesn't have just one style. Yeah, no, Bivol's good, man. Bivol handles Canelo like a child. Yeah, he did. Let's see. To be honest, Canelo looked better. I'm in the Bivol loss. than he did Saturday. Ooh, man. I don't know. Look, and like I told you guys how I felt about that fight. I felt Canelo got tired, man, after round 6. And I was waiting for him to come back. I was thinking, look, he's going to take a couple rounds off and um, try to push to get Triple G out of there. But I didn't see that push, you know? He was fighting like sporadically here and there. He would explode with some punches and then would rest for about 30, 45 seconds. And think about that. 30, 45 seconds, like that's half a minute or 3/4, or I'm sorry, yeah, 3/4 of a minute where he's not doing anything, right? So like, yeah, yeah, he's getting to, he's look, I said it also live when I was live during the fight. Like, I don't think he's the same guy anymore. I think to me, I could be wrong, all right? But in the last couple fights, he's gassed early, and I think that he's peaked and he's starting to head down this way, you know? He's been fighting a long time, man, since he was 15. Um, so a lot of years he's been putting in. Mayweather fighting soon against oh god, yeah. Yeah, he did. He looked, dude. I gave him every round except for the first round. I was giving him round after round after round after round, and I was waiting for him to step it up and try to get the old guy out of there, but it didn't happen. Mayweather put a catch weight, but will probably not like he did Marquez. Let's see. I think these last 2 years of Canelo fighting so much has worn him out. Let's see how he looks in May and if he rematches Bivol. Well, I mean, look, he had a pretty good rest from the Plant fight, right? That was when November. Then he comes back May. What is that? 6 months? So I mean, look, that's a long time off. He's gonna be off for quite some time again because he's injured, you know. So we'll see, man. We'll see. And depending on who he fights, we'll see how he looks, you know. And then the gloves for the opponent. Yeah. Hey, Sus M, what's up, man? Glad that you're here, man. Let's see. The fight was fixed, he says. Hey, they're gonna come after you, bro. Hey, you're out of here, brother. Yeah, I'm getting ready to wrap this thing up too, man. But I appreciate you being. I know, like I said, I know it's late, guys. I had a couple of treat things to do today. We got a little behind. I wanted to go live a little bit earlier, but I couldn't do it. But I had to get this thing in here before uh Thursday, the weigh-in, which is tomorrow, Friday night, the fight. So I wanted to get this thing in before then. And tomorrow I'm going to be live to talk about Joyce versus Parker. So I would like for you guys to join me there as well. Zerto did beat Sullivan Barrera more impressively than Bivol beat him. But it was, yeah, I agree with you. Let's see. Are you surprised Shakur Stevenson versus Robson is on Friday? Or is it because of college? So I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know why they programmed it for a Friday, but I'll take it, you know? I don't have to wait an extra day to see the fight. And look, even if they put it on the same night as Joyce Parker, look, that's going to be earlier in the day for us here in the US. So they still could have done it that way, but um I'll take it. I'm good with having it on Friday, you know? I'm good with having it on Friday, man. Andre says Joyce versus Parker is great matchmaking in my opinion. Yeah. Yep. And I can't wait to break that one down for you guys because I think it's going to be a good fight, man. I really, really do. Really, really do. But guys, I'm going to wrap this one up. Like I said, I'm going to come on here, give my pick, talk with you guys a little bit. Like I said, I know it's late. Apologize for that. Had some things to do. But I'll just say this, man. In round one, good night, brother. Appreciate you being here. And for all you guys, thank you so much. Don't forget to hit the like button. New to the channel, subscribe. Oh my God, excuse me, guys. I'm sorry about that. I am picking Shakur Stevenson, TKO, 10 rounds over Conceicao. Guys, if you can drop some money on this, they're giving away money, man. Minus 175, Shakur by decision. That's almost even money. Then you're getting a plus 140 if he stops him. And I think he can. I really do. So for those of you that came in a little bit late, you can go back earlier and I made a quick video on broken down why I think Shakur will get the TKO against Conceicao. So go back and check that out. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna wrap this thing up. Appreciate you all being here. And again, don't forget to the like button if you're new to the channel, subscribe, all that good stuff. This is G Funky. See you guys tomorrow night for Joyce Parker Breakdown. I'm out.